The night begins with a question so small it almost disappears under the clatter of plates and the low hum of conversation, yet it changes everything. "Do you want to share the table?" the single dad asked, his voice steady even though his hands weren't. If you've ever believed that one kind choice can echo for a lifetime, stay with this story until the very end, and if it touches you, don't forget to like the video and subscribe, because stories like this deserve to be shared. The restaurant was one of those places where the lights are warm but the prices are cold, where ambition sits beside silverware and nobody looks up unless something breaks. Daniel had saved for weeks to bring his daughter, Lily, out for dinner after her school play. He wore a jacket that had known better days, pressed carefully, and Lily wore a dress that spun when she twirled, the hem stitched by Daniel late into the night after work. They were early, because early meant less waiting, and less waiting meant fewer questions from Lily about why other tables looked fuller, louder, happier. Across the room, a woman sat alone at a long table meant for 6. She wore confidence like a tailored suit, though tonight even confidence seemed tired. Her name was Eleanor Grant, CEO of a company that filled headlines and boardrooms, a woman whose calendar was a battlefield of meetings and decisions. Tonight's dinner had been scheduled weeks ago with investors who canceled at the last minute. She stayed anyway, partly out of pride, partly because leaving would feel like admitting something she wasn't ready to name. Lily noticed Eleanor first. Children have a way of seeing loneliness before adults learn to hide it. "Daddy," she whispered, "that lady looks sad." Daniel followed her gaze, then looked away, not wanting to stare. He had learned that minding your business was a survival skill. But Lily tugged his sleeve again, the way she did when she wanted to ask a question that mattered. "Why is she sitting by herself?" Daniel didn't have a good answer. He had a rule about honesty, though: never lie when you can tell the truth kindly. "Sometimes people are alone even when they're important," he said. Lily thought about that, her brow furrowing. Then she smiled, a small, brave smile that carried more courage than Daniel felt most days. When their server led them to a table near Eleanor's, Lily's eyes lit up. The table next to Eleanor's was empty, polished and waiting. Lily leaned close to Daniel and whispered, "Can we ask her to sit with us?" Daniel's heart skipped. He imagined the embarrassment, the rejection, the way this could go wrong. He imagined Eleanor's polite refusal, the awkward silence afterward. He imagined Lily learning a lesson he wasn't ready for her to learn yet. But he also imagined Lily learning something else, that kindness didn't need permission. So when Eleanor's eyes met his, just for a moment, he stood. The restaurant seemed to hold its breath. "Excuse me," he said, voice calm despite the pounding in his chest. "I know this is unusual, but would you like to share the table with us? It's my daughter's special night." Eleanor blinked, surprised. For a heartbeat, the CEO with 1,000 answers had none. She saw the wear in Daniel's jacket, the hope in Lily's eyes, and something in her chest softened, something she'd armored over years ago. "I'd like that," she said, standing before doubt could catch up. "Thank you for asking." Lily scooted over, making room with ceremonial seriousness. Introductions were made, menus opened, and the evening unfolded with a quiet magic that no one could have planned. Lily talked about her play, how she forgot one line but remembered another, how her daddy sat in the front row even though he had to work late the next day. Eleanor listened, really listened, the way she used to listen before success taught her to multitask through everything. Daniel talked about his job repairing elevators, how he learned the craft from his father, how every floor mattered because someone was always waiting on the other side of the doors. Eleanor smiled at that. She talked about her company in simple terms, about building things that connected people, though she didn't mention the pressure, the loneliness at the top, the nights like this one where success felt hollow. When the food arrived, Lily insisted on a toast with her water glass. "To new friends," she said. The glasses clinked, and Eleanor felt something she hadn't felt in a long time, a sense of being exactly where she was supposed to be. The night ended too soon. They said goodbye outside under streetlights that made everything look gentler. Eleanor knelt to Lily's level. "Thank you for sharing your daddy," she said. Lily hugged her without hesitation. "Thank you for sitting with us," Lily replied. Daniel watched, moved and a little amazed. Eleanor shook Daniel's hand, her grip warm and firm. "I won't forget tonight," she said, and Daniel believed her, though he didn't know why. Life moved on, as it always does. Daniel returned to early mornings and late nights, to packing lunches and fixing hems, to counting coins and counting blessings. Lily grew taller, braver, her questions deeper. Eleanor returned to boardrooms and headlines, to decisions that shaped thousands of lives. Yet that night stayed with her, resurfacing in quiet moments, reminding her of the table, the invitation, the simple dignity of being asked. Months later, Daniel's company announced layoffs. The news hit like a sudden drop, the kind that steals your breath. Daniel kept it together for Lily, but the fear was real. Interviews went nowhere. Bills piled up. One evening, he sat at the kitchen table long after Lily slept, staring at numbers that refused to add up.